Okay, so welcome to the 14th video. In this video we're going to be looking at loading player data and populating this box here, and we're just going to alter a couple of things that's displayed in this box here. So if we come over to our load player data.php page, we're going to take this create date here and we're going to turn it into a date and time format. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this part out and replace it with double quotes to escape the string, and we're going to concatenate into there a date function, and we're going to render out the date as day, a string version of the month followed by the year. So it's a little d, capital M and capital Y. After that we're going to put in our database variable to grab the timestamp of the start date. If we save this and refresh, you can see here it started on the 20th of August 2011. The next part we're going to deal with is this class, and this will require us changing this query and using a join to get the name of the class compared to using the ID of the class that we've currently stored in the database. Okay, so this is the new query. We're still selecting all of the information we need from the original query. We're taking the user character's character ID, the character name, class, level, creation date, and its location. On the end of that, we've also included a class name which we're collecting from the classes table, and we're just giving it an alias of class name. So we select all these from the user characters table, and we're performing an inner join. We're joining the classes table on where the user characters C class equals the class's class ID. So now if we change this C underscore class on the output to class name and save it, what we should find is over here this should change from 3 to the correct class name. So there we go. It's just refreshed and we get the actual output of the name rather than the class ID. Okay, so now we're going to move on to populating this box here with all the relevant information to the character that we select. So if we come over to our character.php page, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, for now, hide all of this information just by using the style and display set to none. Then we're going to wrap span tags around each of the bits of information that will change. So that would be the level, the class, last seen, the credits, etc. It's all the outputs. So I'll be back in a minute once I've done that. I've replaced all the values with span tags. Each span tag has its own class, which we're going to use to reference in the jQuery. So in order to do this, we're going to use a similar process that we used on the class changer. We're going to post some information to our create character box function file, and we're going to return some JSON information. So let's start off by creating this function, and we'll just call this load character info. We're going to put in here an X variable, and we're going to copy over all of this information here, and we're just going to paste it into here for now and remove the output. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we come over to our load player data, and where we print out the div containing all of the information, we want to add in an on-click event, and we're going to use that load character info, and that's going to contain a variable of row character ID. So this X variable is going to be our character ID that we're going to load up from. We've got our class ID here, what we're going to change to character ID, and the mode we're going to change that to load character info. So we're now going to come over to our functions file for the create character box, and we're going to query the database to get the information that we need for so we can load up the character information. Okay, so here's the query. First we're making a variable of character ID, and we're using the posted character ID and running the pass preg replace parsing method on it. We're then selecting user characters, and we're taking everything from that table, and classes class name, and we're giving that an alias of class name, just like we did before, to get the true class name of the character's class. And we're taking that from the user's characters table, and we're using an inner join on the classes table on user characters C class where it equals classes.classID, just like we did before, where the character ID equals the character ID, and the account ID equals the session UID, and this is to stop anyone trying to load up someone else's character. So we then return SQL, all the information into the SQL variable. Now we're going to run an if SQL num rows is more than 0, else we're going to return an error. On the error, we're going to initiate a variable, and we're going to give this variable an array key of status, and on the else, which means it's failed, we're just going to make it fail. And if it's true, if we get a result back, we're just going to have data equal SQL fetch associative array, like that. And again, we're going to add one on called status, and just make that say pass. Then after the if and else statements, we're just going to echo out JSON encoded data variable, or the array. So that should return us whether we pass or fail the load here. If the JSON dot status, I don't know why I've got a $sign there, equals pass, then we're going to load up the information. Else we're going to open notify and just put a message in saying character load error. And on the if it's true, then we're going to populate all of this information with the information returned from the database. Okay, so here we have the Jquery. We assign the text value of each of these classes, the returned values from the JSON data that's being passed back. So here is an action. We select my character, Tourniquet, we click that, and the information is filled up. I will accept the points, because apparently we have no points. That might be because I haven't used the right key. Points. Oh. There we go, there it is. Right, the next thing we need to look at is loading the character when we click that load character button there. So before the end of the video, we're going to assign where is it? Might help if I could find the right page. Right, we give this one a class of JS load character, and we just go JS load character. Right, so we just change the attribute of on click, and we're going to run a function called load character final, and we're just going to place the X value inside of that, and we'll look more at that function in the next video.